my
I'm
camera.
positive.
How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Boom! What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where we're here every Monday talking Giants football, pretty much 50 weeks of the year. And like we always like to say, we tell you what the players tell us. So it is Monday. It is 9 o'clock. We are an hour later than we normally are. Shit happens. I do apologize for that. But we're locked and loaded and ready to go. So we're going to talk some Giants football. We got camp to talk about, Scatterboo. We got Dart showing some leadership ability. We got Wilson not washed. All you fellas out there that were like, he's a loser. Forget this cat. He's showing exactly what we thought we would get. A veteran QB that can get the ball downfield, disperse it out to all these different receivers. As you notice, someone in the news every day catching the rock, right? We're going to talk about Carter. Of course, we're going to talk about fantasy football. I know it's coming. It should be live by tomorrow night, where you get to kick Spartan Mike's ass in fantasy. So if you want to play in the Rush Baller League, we upped our stakes this year. We always give away an autographed jersey. First year was Amani Toomer. Second year, we gave away Hakeem Nicks. And this year, can't tell you who, but not only will you get an autographed jersey, I got these exclusive all-in posters for the 2011 Super Bowl, highlighting Cruz, Manning, Antrell Roll, Hakeem Nicks, Tynes, Justin Tuck, and of course, the coach, Tom Coughlin. So I got exclusive posters that'll be there. And of course, you also get to sit in on a Giants Rush podcast with me, King Rush, and of course, all our guys. Speaking of our guys, you know, my right-hand man with me all the time. You know him.
Miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
What's up? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
What's up? Evil Knievel going on over there, man. I like it.
Yeah, man. All good. We are fired up. We're a little bit late, so that's on me. But look, we're here now.
Better late than never.
Yeah, it's all that matters. Better late than never. Let me turn on the show comments for you guys that are climbing in the room. Let me put this up here. Hey, look, you know what's cool? We are at countdown time for football. I tweeted out today, you know what? A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. I don't really care about camp in the way other people care about camp. I can't. You know what I like about camp? I like the fights. I want to know who's showing that scrappiness, right? Who's coming in and basically showing their physical prowess. You know what I mean? Guys that step outside themselves and say, I'm ready to ball. And then I'd like to find out who won the fight, right? And then I just like to know about injuries. Who got hurt, who didn't get hurt, who's healthy, who's only, little bumps and bruises. A lot of that other stuff, I don't love it like everybody else does.
I just like seeing players that get better, who's doing what, who's like I'm not worried about the results. I'm worried about the process. And you got guys like, Bo Collins, Dontrell Washington, that are showing some things. I like seeing what the quarterbacks are doing. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. What the receivers doing, what the defense is doing. It's not about the results for me. It's about the process. It's about looking at technique, how fast they're looking, what they're doing that way. Not how many touchdowns, how many catches they have, how many interceptions. Yeah. Although I will say, I do like hearing that the defense is getting some more turnovers or focus on it. And that, as we know, it's a treasure chest, but I have renamed it to the booty chest, because that's what Pirates collected. They collected booty.
Yep.
It's pretty popular out there. So, yeah. But we need a good fight. We haven't had a fight yet. I'm surprised. I'm waiting for the fight. I will admit to that.
And we had what's his name, slamming Thibodeau around last week, but it didn't really boil over. It's Hudson.
No. Hudson, yeah, James Hudson.
Dude's big.
Quietly had a really good camp.
And he's big and he's mean. So I like it. And again, I agree with you. I like the process stuff too, but sometimes we just, people are starving for info. They're starving for information. So they eat up like every first down, every because I can't really put like sacks and touchdowns like into a category because I don't really think they happen. Now, if you've got Jalen Hyatt beating Tay Banks, that's real. I get that.
Right.
Yeah. But like some of the other stuff is just, it's situational and nobody's hitting nobody.
Exactly. You don't know the point of the drill or the point of whatever the session is going on. One time they're slanted towards defense and they want the defense to be tough on the offense. But by the way, Tay Banks, real quick, there's actual video footage. It's not like Bigfoot being spotted, but we have video evidence of Tay Banks turning his head around. I thought we'd find Bigfoot before we would see Tay Banks turn his head around, but no.
I think
this week, one time.
I would agree with you. Like I thought maybe that wasn't him until I saw his number. I was like, oh
yeah.
I was like, whoa.
And then I don't think it happened again.
No.
But I'll take one time because that's progress.
He's got something against turning his head back and looking for the ball. I don't know what it is. I mean, like broken down old player as I am, that's one of the first things they taught us when I had to move from safety to corner. And corner wasn't my thing, but it teaches you how to turn your head around real fast or you look bad. And then again, I wasn't fast enough, so I went back to safety, But when I had to play that position to fill in for an injured player, injured teammate, I'm like, man, if you don't turn your head around, you just look bad to everybody at practice. And I played in an era like you played in an era where there was no social media, no video, no cameras, no nothing. So it's really tough to be a number one draft pick and not have the ability to turn your head around. So,
and I think it was coached that way, which is why I think they made the change with the cornerback coaches. I think because everybody was doing it, but it seems now Banks is kind of the last one to kind of come around to it. So it's interesting. And we don't have this on the top, but I want Drew Phillips having a strong camp as well right now. He's coming into his own this year. Him and Newbin, right, on the defensive side so far.
I didn't put that in the notes, right? But that's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. Folks, you should be paying attention to what Phillips is doing. Like, you can look at what he was like, in Kentucky, right? And, you could have an opinion. He's just a slot corner. He's so poised. He was at the microphone late last week. So impressive. Saying last year he was winging it half the time and he wasn't really sure. So he was aggressive and he wasn't really sure exactly where he should be. And now he's addressing the media like, hey, I actually know where I'm supposed to be. I can see the coverages, pre-snap. I know, where I'm going or when I'm, handing something off. He was so good and I was so impressed with him. And I know slot corners don't get a lot of love. But if you're out there looking for a most improved player type of scenario, it could be him.
Yeah, and he had a good year last year too. He also talked about communication, which is where I think Holland and Adebo being there really helps those young guys too. And like I said, Newbin has had a really strong camp. He's shown those ball hawk skills that came up in at Minnesota. So and that's that's a guy I like because I talked about him on the draft show that we had when we were discussing safeties. He was the guy. So I think that communication was huge, and Michael McFadden talked about it, right? So we're seeing now with communication better what these guys are able to do, and they're more confident in this system. And somebody just came out and said that, Okereke, Bobby O, came out and said that Shane Bowen is a schematic genius. Or something
I was like, what
lines.
did he just say?
I know. Right?
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they want to give the coach some love. I'm sure that people know that he's under a little bit of pressure to because now he's got more pieces than he ever had. A lot of things that came up last year after the season was that Bowen was terrible only because, he just ran out of talent. And he was just like, I'm plugging and playing and I'm plugging. And that could be true. Yeah. My issue with him, and you guys remember me harping on it all year, was no adjustments. And then Carl Banks comes on and says, no adjustments. So that was my big rub with him. So we're trying to give him a clean slate because he's got 4 new players that could make a difference, which is Carter and Alexander, Adebo and Holland should, and of course, getting Newman back almost from being hurt,
Right.
you got better pieces. So yes, I did hear it. I didn't believe it when it came out of his mouth, but it was good to hear.
Yeah. Listen, when you're losing and you're going to maybe try to get a draft pick and you got all these fourth and fifth stringers, it's hard to make adjustments. That's what I'll say. You gotta play straight up, not make adjustments because you don't know what guys are going to do, and you don't want to get annihilated. That's the other thing too.
And you know what? I before I forget, I didn't mean I cut you off. That was rude. My bad.
No, you're good.
I haven't talked to Tudo in forever. Want to give him a shout out for giving us a sticker. Thanks, buddy. Always appreciate you, man.
Paisan.
Yeah.
Tudo.
Good to have you in the house, buddy. So, and again, the thing that, and we kind of started with the offense, and then we went back to defense and back and forth. I do want to bring up something because I mean, I'm like, I don't want to have to pray to the football gods every single year at this time.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to do it, but I'm out there doing it because, a player that, I mean, watching him in that, that bowl game and just being like, man, everybody's been talking about this kid. And, you watch 2 or 3 games of him, and then we do our draft show and we start watching more tape of him. You're really excited about him. Now he's got a hamstring. I can't tell, Sean, you tell me, is it worse than it is, or is it what it is? Because I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know. And, fans are going to get upset with the lack of transparency when it comes to injuries, but it's a common thing. Like, coaches aren't going to say how bad it is. It's just not what they're going to do. Nobody really says it. Maybe there's a handful that do it. So I don't know. I think it's precautionary because at this point it's a hamstring and we know how hamstrings can be, right? So no need to rush him back. Let him take his time. Let him do what he needs to do and kind of go from there. So I think they're being precautionary at this point. I don't think it's as bad as it sounds, but you don't want to mess with hamstrings, and we haven't even had a preseason game, right? Like, let him. He's fine. He'll be fine. Like, he's playing running back. He'll learn some things. He'll be in the meetings. He'll do what he needs to do and then get healthy because that's a guy we need healthy for this season.
We do. We and not only do we need him healthy because he was probably slated to be, a running back 2, but I've said this. I don't know if you folks are paying attention or not, but I've been saying it now for 3 months, 4 months. His contribution could be solely as catching the ball out of the backfield because he's so good at it. And I'm going to keep saying it till someone pays attention that this guy is going to be great on flares, bubble screens, wheel routes. You already saw what he did, off that deflection in the end zone last week. Like, the kid's just a gamer, like a real gamer. There's guys that are like, there's just guys that are gamers. Like Victor Cruz was a gamer, right? Like, he was going to make big plays. Or there was, there's tough guys like Brandon Jacobs, like just comes in when the game's on and the lights are big, Jacobs is the guy, right? He's running through guys. Scatterboo has a lot of that in him. And I'm just hoping that he doesn't miss any time. I'd like to see what he could do on a 16-17 game season. So, pounding out to the football gods there that they shine down on Cam Scatterboo. That he's healthy because I think again, not even from a running perspective. I know how good he is. Tracy's the RB1.
Yep.
Right. But the element that he brings to the offense out of the backfield is interesting, which is also, I'm going to ask you about this guy, right? There's a new running back in the room because Cam is hurt. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a vet. Played Cardinals, Titans, and Steelers. I mean, he's going to be a body at this point, right? Because they need extra running backs there. Because not only Scatterboo's out, but Eric Gray is on the pup list, so they got to have somebody run some reps. Because right now it's Tracy and Singletary. That's really and Turbo Miller. That's it. So I think he's just a vet presence who can pick up the offense, run some reps, and he'll carry himself, in a good manner. So nobody that had anything significant, but those are the 3 teams he played for. And he needs somebody who can run some reps and come in and act like a professional, and that's what this guy is going to do.
And by the way, really great opportunity for Turbo Miller to get a chance because like the guy couldn't get off the practice squad last year, and now he's going to have this could be his way on the active roster. Realistically, if he has 2 really good weeks of camp, because here's the thing, Scadaboo's been hurt for the last 3 days.
Yep.
4 days, right? It wasn't like Thursday he got hurt, I think it was.
Yep. I think so, yeah.
Like normally guys pop. I heard about this guy. I haven't heard anything out of Turbo Miller, so I'm hoping he just keeps grinding because I'd like to see him make the team.
Yeah, well, and people forget that he sat out of football for an entire year. So coming back last year was his first time back in football for over a year. So he had to learn that. He's showed some signs. He showed some flashes this year. I've heard some good reports on how he's looked. So I think that's a good sign for him. And he's just fast. Like, we know this. You had coaches say it all the time. And I said it as a coach, you can't coach speed. Like, somebody's got speed, you find a place for him to thing. And if he gets his, footing under him under with the football side of things, he can make an impact there potentially.
What's up, Mark B? Welcome in.
Hello, Mark.
Glad to see you. Yep, I know we're late, not normal time, and you're right. We wish him that the hammies do suck, right? Because they linger on guys, right? So we just hope, that he comes back ready to roll. Maybe he sits for a couple preseason games, whatever it is. But and it's funny because you think about like hamstring, Scadaboo, hamstring. Odell had a hamstring when he first got drafted. I think Neighbors might have had a hamstring or a calf last year. Like when he so something happens when they get to the camp, pro camp from college that like maybe these guys aren't used to like getting stretched out, getting treatment. I think some of these guys get hurt just because college doesn't prepare them. And they're
not used to the speed of the game. College is fast, but the NFL is faster. And so that's some of it too. Maybe the heat he's not used to because it's dry heat out in Arizona. Remember, he's at Arizona State. Yep. New Jersey in the summertime is a lot more humid. So that could have something to do with it as well.
No doubt. All right, I'm going to throw this one to you since you saw more of this. I'm literally going to let you ask, like, we're going to have a conversation back and forth. You ask me, I ask you. Let's talk. Right. Let's talk about this subject.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he lost weight. He's looking fitter. He's looking faster out there. People try to say he's not mobile. I mean, he was always mobile. He just wasn't as mobile as he was when he was younger. Who is, right, at this point? But he's lean. He was talking with Kay Adams. And he's down weight. He's looking faster. He's making throws, man, anticipatory throws. Guys are not even made their break yet, and he's throwing the ball. Receivers are excited about playing with him. They talk about the leader he is. They talk about like everything about this guy. He's out there. His videos going out today, how he's talking with people. He's pumping people up. Like he's doing all those things that you want the leader of your team, who is now is the quarterback. The quarterback is the de facto leader, regardless of if they're a leader or not. He's doing those things. And if receivers are excited, dude, that's good for our offense. You want receivers excited. The difference is these receivers now believe in the quarterback. They may have liked our former quarterbacks. They thought they were good workers, all this. They actually believe in Russell Wilson. And we know what belief can get you. Now, we hope it translates to wins. We know we got to see it on the field. But the signs are there of what you want to see. You want receivers who are excited about playing for a quarterback, who believe in that quarterback, and believe that quarterback's going to make them better. What do you think?
I think that you are spot on. And I think you could even take it a step further with, I think it also, I think there's something to be said about a guy who wanted to be here last year, right? So I think there's some anticipation that he wanted to be here, and now he's here, and he's excited about being here. I don't know how excited he was going to Denver. I have no idea. I don't know if he was excited about going to Pittsburgh. Maybe he was for a period of time, but remember, he didn't get the starting gig. Fields was the starter, right? I think there's something to say about his internal clock and the way he's feeling about what his role is, right?
Yeah.
He's now the starting quarterback of the New York Giants, where he wanted to be. That's got to be very uplifting that the team wanted him, right?
Yeah.
And they're all raving about this guy leading in camp. And like I don't know who said it last week. They're like, this guy leads different than I've ever seen anybody do it. Was it Bellinger?
It might have been Bellinger, Wandale, all those guys. Hyatt, they've all said it. And I think Bellinger was the one who said it last week for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was like that. Nobody, this guy just came in and just takes over the room and he leads. And that's pretty reassuring, right? And again, we're not going to talk about Dimes, but like there might have been that lacking of like to come in and just that confidence and to take over a room and lift everybody up. We always talk about what? Does he elevate the team? Does he elevate the team? Well, Russell Wilson's elevating the team. Now, today, what got my attention, now maybe people
thinking the same thing.
All right, maybe was the quickness of the reading and moving off the receivers. Like you're watching him like looking right, looking center, throwing left, looking left, looking center, throwing right. Like he's being decisive. He's not staring down receivers, waiting for him to get open. I mean, the fact that he knows I'm 1 second, 1,000, 2 1,000, got to move, 3 1,000, got to move, got to get the ball out of my hand. Like he is just showing me something we haven't seen in a while.
Long time. So there's a couple of things. I agree with that. And it's what Daboll wants. He wants that ball out quick. And the difference is he's hitting the right receiver and putting him in a position to get yak after the play as well. But what got my attention was today's video. He threw a ball in the end zone to Malik Neighbors where only Malik could make a play. Yeah. He threw it up high. He threw it with that, and Malik made the play. So he's allowing his receivers to be successful, giving them a chance to make a play, and receivers are going to love that. Absolutely love that. And if they love this guy, they believe in this guy, they're going to fight for this guy, and they're going to make more plays. And I think those drops are going to decrease this year.
And Mark B's got a point. Like, he is a vet at work in the room. So even if there's a little bit of it that's showmanship, it's okay because we haven't had any showmanship. And I think what's going to happen with the New York Giants, I want you all folks to remember, I said it here, is that whether Russell Wilson's here 1 year or 2 years and then into Dart is going to is learning from Wilson. It's a great guy to learn from, the confidence and running the room. And I think it's going to be a nice, couple years that we have, whether it's 2 with Russ and then Dart, or 1 year with Russ and Dart. I don't know realistically, but I think there's a lot of moxie in both those guys and confidence, but it's a very subtle confidence. And it's like, I think bringing the level of play up and expectations up, how to prepare up. So overall, we just haven't seen this in a while. So as Mark just said, is even if he's just working the room, he's doing a good job of getting people excited.
He is. And we got 3 quarterbacks who actually know how to work the microphone and work a press conference. Even Dart, as a rookie, is showing energy. He's showing personality. All 3 of those guys know how to work it. Now, I do want to touch on something. I'm kind of veer because I think this is important because I've seen this from a few. And Tudo is my guy. You're still my Paisan. So Tudo, even though I'm going to go contrary to what you're saying here, the O-line does not suck. I don't know why this is coming up right now. The O-line does not suck. In fact, I've watched video clips where they're picking up stunts. What did the Giants struggled with in the years prior to Carm Brasil?
Always
Craig? Always the blitz, the stunts, the twists, all of that, right?
I was just going to say, always the twists and the stunts. It would just be, it's abysmal.
Yeah. Do you know who picked up a twist and stunt the other day? Evan Neal.
Evan Neal
at guard. Do you know who also has looked good and is getting reps with the first team? Marcus Bowe.
Yeah.
You know who struggled a little bit was Runyon, but why did he struggle? Where's he been?
Because he was hurt last year.
He was hurt. He's later to camp, so he's working off some rust. Right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And if Wilson is completing all these passes and Tracy and Scatterbo having good runs, where's that coming from?
Hey, even JMS has had some really good days.
Yeah, he's had some bad days, but Abdul Carter's made them look bad. How many people do you think Abdul Carter's going to make look bad?
Yeah, a lot.
Right? So I don't know. Are we a top 10 offensive line? No. But do we need to be a top 10 offensive line? No, we don't. If we're top 15, top 20, we're in a good position. So
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then you're my guy. You know it, my man. But I don't know why people are saying the O-line sucks. I don't see it.
In fact,
we'll see week 1.
Well, yeah. And again, it may take some more time to gel, but I think between what we saw now out of Hudson, who's just big and mean and strong, and he wants to brawl and he'll stick up for his guys, and then with GVR, who can play 2 different positions, and just again, it's very blue collar, lunch pail offensive line, and Carter is going to make Runyon better, and Carter is going to, and Carter is going to make Thibodeau better. And these guys make each other better. I'll tell you guys a quick story. It was in the Carl Banks interview that we did last year. He said that they used to go up to him in practice and be like, Bavaro says you stink. And Carl will be like, what? They're like, yeah, he's over there laughing at it. Says he can block you any day. And those guys used to go at it every day, all day long. And they, irons sharpen irons, man. It's a cliche, but it's true. And Bavaro became the blocker he was, and Banks became the tenacious player he was, because he had to go up against Mark Bavaro every day. Yeah. So those type of battles, we're not used to seeing. And now, Thibodeau's got to step up his game. Dexter's back healthy. Burns is going to, be Burns. And who knows? I'll even go as far to say is there was some complaints from the fans last week about Carter playing on the inside, like with his hand in the dirt. And what people don't realize is because he used to play in the middle for Penn State, okay, he's used to being able to stunt through the center of the field in the A gap and the B gap. So what they're trying to do is, in first and second down, keeping McFadden and Okereke on the field, but allowing Thibodeau and Burns still to rush from the outside, but having a package where a guy that's used. See, I think it doesn't go. And let me hit the reset button. There's something to be said about, and again, if you've never played the position, or maybe you have to watch it a little bit more, anything on the inside defensive tackles, inside linebackers, they're constantly playing with people at their feet. Okay. Yeah. Like they're scraping through traffic, looking for lanes. They're getting hit when they're not looking. There's guys diving at their legs. They're stepping through people. That's why outside linebackers don't normally get converted to inside, because the outside linebackers are playing in space. Okay. But the inside backers are a different breed, right? So what they've realized with Carter is, you know what? I can rush Thibodeau and Burns on the outside. But if I package up Carter and I put his hand in the dirt with McFadden and Okereke behind him, what are you going to do? You're going to take Carter and let Dexter go with a single? Or you're going to single up on Dexter and you're going to let Carter blow right through the guard or the center? It's going to cause issues. So don't you guys freak out, because I saw at least 5 or 6 of you saying, why is our best pass rusher going to be in the middle? I'm like, because he's so fast and so strong, he's going to create all that havoc in the middle, going to get Burns and Thibodeau free.
Absolutely. And that's what we wanted Bowen to do. We utilize the players for their strengths, make the defense player think outside the box. And that's exactly what they're doing. And Carter can play all over the field. And listen, we had some of these same fans getting upset that Malik Neighbors was getting as many throws to him as he does. Like, guys, you got a superstar, you use them all over the field, and it's fine. And Carter has that. I agree. So, yeah.
And listen, again, there's a really great chance he could win Rookie Defensive Player of the Year if he's on the field getting 50 snaps a game. Like you guys have to, I don't know if you guys pay attention to this stuff, like snap counts, like, you gotta, for a defensive player that doesn't come off the field, like, Tibbs or Burns or Dexter, like they're on the field 80% of the snaps, yeah, I mean, or more sometimes. So if you can get Carter on the field this year for 75% of the snaps, so you don't get him hurt, like he's gonna have a great year.
I mean, Carter's going to be in the field a lot. Guy, they're going to utilize him. You don't draft him at number 3 all, see what he can do, what he's doing out there. You're watching the videos. Line him up all over the damn field. We wanted Micah Parsons. We got a Micah Parsons right now. You use him all over the field. Put him where he needs to be. That he's going to play. He'll be fine. He'll be good. He's going to make everybody else better. Like I said, the competition, guys going after each other, trying to get Tibbs and Burns and Carter and Dex going after the quarterback. They're going to make each other better. Carter is, we say all the time, Carl Banks says a lot. Carter is different, man. Some guys are just different, and you can see they're different. And when you got somebody different, you don't keep them in a cage, man. You let them go.
And here's the thing that people don't realize is that, like, sometimes people they get crazy about where players play. Like, don't scout the play, or the helmet, all this stuff. Look, it's just like statistically, there are guys in this league that play better in cold weather. Some guys don't play well in cold weather. Like, going to Penn State, you're playing in some cold ass weather. He fits this team perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if maybe Thibodeau would be a different player if he played on the West Coast. I don't know. But I do know that, like, West Coast guys, like, they may not like the cold. Like, I just know that this guy's a Penn State grinder and he's played in the cold. He's going to fit in. He's not going to shrink when it gets cold, or, and he's not going to disappear. So, I mean, I've said this before. If anybody loses snaps, it's going to be Thibodeau. I don't want Thibodeau to lose snaps. I'm just saying that.
I think it'll be our DT2 who's one that's going to lose more snaps.
That could be too, because like I said, they could put him in the dirt right next to Dexter, so that could happen too.
Because Bowen said a number of times, you want to have these guys on the field as much as possible. So that's what I see happening. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction is our DT2 is going to lose snaps. You put Carter Lambert there.
And next thing you know, you got a JJ Watt.
Yeah. I mean, Carter's bigger than people realize. When you watch some videos, he's bigger than people realize. And again, there's no guard that can stay with him on the inside. If he's lined up on the inside, no guard's going to be able to stay with him. He's too fast.
He'll blow right through that A gap. Yeah. Right through the past the guard. So so he's got a good chance to make a great impact as long as he's healthy. And I think Bowen's excited that he's got some players. And now we have to hope that Alexander continues to grow. You're not hearing a lot from him, and that's from the press because they don't know him really yet.
They don't. But he got reps with
the ones,
and that's a good sign as a rookie. That's a guy. Yeah, if we're not hearing about, first of all, you're not going to hear much about him because who are you going to hear about the majority of camp? What's the name, right? Carter, Tibbs, or Burns, right? Or Dex, right? But if he's getting run with the ones, that's a good sign right there, and that's what you want to see. So he may make my prediction happen earlier than thought because I thought it'd be week 3. He may start week 1. Who knows?
Well, let's talk, and I'm cool with that because again, I think they're going to need some help. Like Tudo was saying, he doesn't like the offensive line. I actually like the offensive line better than I like the defensive line because, again, you got Dexter and then, you don't want to put Carter, at that spot on a regular basis because you want him to be more outside than down on all fours. So, you hope that Alexander grows. I mean, again, Nacho's a spot guy. Like all these guys, Fox, they're all spot guys. So if anything, the defensive line could be challenged, I think, more than the offensive line.
Well, here's the thing. Imagine if our defensive line wasn't doing what they're doing, then fans would be talking about how bad the defensive line is. When one unit is playing better than the other, the unit that's not playing well or they think is not playing well is going to hear it. So again, what I'll say is Wilson's got time to make passes in practice. So our O-line can't be that bad. All right.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
I think it's just we're used to a bad O line, we're used to negativity, and it's just easier to say the O line's not good because Abdul Carter, Burns, Tibbs, they're doing. We're talking about this being it was what ranked preseason number 3 D line in the NFL. Like it should make our O line not look too good right now, right?
I agree. I agree with that. You know, again, Thomas is not even there yet.
Right. Exactly. And again, but Marcus Bowe is looking really good. Like you're watching the videos, you're seeing things the guys are doing. And I'm going to keep saying this, like you said earlier. I'm going to keep saying this until somebody pays attention. Our O line can pick up stunts and twists and not get fooled.
Yeah. And listen, you know, I would absolutely love Evan Neal to turn out to be an all-pro guard. You know,
Absolutely.
So like the guy is, you know, he's not folding his tent because the way the New York media has been on him, including us.
Right. Yeah.
I could see if that dude just crawled under a rock and went away. So it's good to see that he's fighting for a job and to be here and get a contract extension and all that good stuff. I'm glad, and I wish him the best, and I hope he's a nasty dude up there, and I hope he really, you know, thrives there.
Well, that's what somebody was saying the other day about, like, I forget who was talking about, but they said when Neal gets his hands on somebody, they ain't going anywhere. But to wrap this up and we move on to the next thing, I just want to give some love to one of our old linemen who does not get enough love, and I don't know why that is, but Greg Van Roten, GVR, is a much better old lineman than he gets credit for by our fans. I don't know why that is, but I want to give him some flowers, man. He is much better than people realize. And the fact that he came in, played center, and did really well after playing at guard, I want to show that. I want to give some flowers to Greg Van Roten because not enough people are talking about him. They just rule him out, and he is much better than people realize. And Carm Brasilla is a very good offensive line coach, but Van Roten needs to get some. He needs to get some love.
And then Mark B hit this one right on the head. That Patterson, you know, is very underrated. He's going to do a lot with these guys. So, both, and it's great because we needed that, you know, like both offensive and line coaches, offensive and defensive line coaches were not up to par for a while. And now we're in a good place. And GVR is a guy, you know, you sign him in a 1-year deal last year. He comes and plays center. He comes and plays guard. It's a good thing all the way around for everybody, again, because he is a little bit nasty. He can play 2 positions, and I think he's a way better blocker than anybody realizes.
Exactly. Yep,
Nice.
He is much better.
C-Web in the house. Haven't seen C-Web in forever.
Oh, wow.
What's up? Yeah. What's up, dude? Good evening. Good evening. Glad you stopped by. We're not normally here at this time, C-Web. We ran late today, but I'm glad you're here hanging out. Wait, but I do got to talk about my guy.
Okay, let's bring him up.
We talk about your guy. We got to talk about
absolutely. My guy. Fair is fair.
And you know who my guy is.
Of course.
So I'll say it, and it's be the theme of tonight. We'll just keep talking about it until somebody says those guys were on it first. And there ain't nobody. No. There ain't nobody that's been on Dart as long as I have since he transferred out of you. Since he traded out. Transferred. Thank you. I was like TT from USC. Look, I've said it. I'll say it again. If you've never watched the movie Tin Cup, I recommend you go watch Tin Cup with Kevin Costner.
Great movie.
Yeah, he has. So Dart has this thing where if he misses it, he comes right back to it. If he misses it, he comes right back to it. He's got that Favre gunslinger in him where he wants to whip it in some small spaces, and it's not always there. Right?
Yep.
But he wants to get in. He wants to prove he can do it, and he comes back to it. He's extremely tough with the ball. He threw for almost 12,000 yards in the SEC. And listen, I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm no way throwing any shade on the SEC like some of you folks out there like, well, the SEC isn't what it used to be. You're crazy. It's still the best conference in football. And I'm a Big Ten guy. So, you know, I'm just saying that this kid's got a lot of moxie. Everybody's raving about how he handles the media, handles himself, handles his teammates, but today was the first time he actually got frustrated with somebody and and he made a gesture like, "Come on, dude." And he was throwing a route today where the receiver didn't turn around and look for the ball. You could see he was visibly disappointed, right? And he gave a a look like, look for the ball. Gave him one of these things. Tried to lead him to a spot across the middle. The receiver should know he was matched up with a linebacker and that he was going to be able to make the catch, and he didn't, because he didn't look back for the ball.
Right.
And you can see Dart is not afraid to lead. So like, that's like the one piece I think that's missing. You guys haven't seen him run with the ball yet. He's great with the ball in his hands. He can run. And if you're an SEC fan, you've seen him drop a shoulder on a safety before,
Yep.
So he's tough and he does make the throws. You've seen him make some good throws, but today made me feel good, Sean, that he's not scared of his own shadow. He's okay with telling guys that they can do better.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Again, that's the sign you want to see with the growth. This is what training camp is for. You're going to make mistakes. Do you learn from it? That shows leadership, right? If you're not making the same mistake over and over again, if you understand that the receiver is supposed to do something, you let him know, hey, that means he's understanding the offense. These are the progression things that you want to see. I don't care how many interceptions he throws in camps, unless he's throwing like 50 in camp, right? But you get my point. Like, it's what is he doing? Is he learning from it? Is he understanding? Is he growing? Is he developing? That's what it's about. Even completing passes, I don't care. Is he making the right read? Is he making the right throw? Because the throws will come. You'll get used to your receivers. That'll figure it out. You're learning all these guys. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's not the results oriented in training camp. It's the process that needs to be focused on. So that's again, I like what I see. The other thing, let's not rush him in. Let's let him develop where he needs to be. It's a good thing that we have him set and ready to go. Let him take his time. We don't need to rush him in. Let's see what Rush does. But yeah, I think it's good. I like the leadership I'm seeing there. I know you probably saw we got some good questions in there too. I'm sure you're going to want to get to.
Yeah, C-Web just rolls right in here after being. We haven't seen him, and then he just starts dropping great questions. All right, so I'm going to let you handle this one first. What position group are you most confident in on offense and defense? Great question. I'll hand that to you first.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go quarterback group as that one. I was close with another group. So offense is gonna be quarterback group. On defense, I'm gonna go linebackers because I'm gonna include Thibodeau and Burns I included in linebackers 100%. Because they're 3-4.
They're both linebackers. So, yes, they are.
So yep. And so you got Carter, Burns, Tibbs, McFadden, Okereke, Muafau, and Deontay Johnson. So I'm very confident in that linebacker group on defense. How about you?
I like it. So it's a real tough question because I was originally I would have went with the running back room because I thought Tracy was going to have a breakout year because he's more confident. He gets it now, right? He knows the role. I thought Cam Scadaboo was going to bring. I told you, C-Web, before you jumped on, I was saying that people don't realize how good his hands are. He was going to literally bring a new dimension to our offense with wheel routes, bubble screens, and flares. But with him out, I've got to steal a little bit of Sean's thunder. I got to believe in Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, and Russell Wilson as the most improved, group. But I have the most confidence that group of guys can get it done, right? And the defense is like really hard because I want to say safety, believe it or not, because I just, last year, Webb, something happened to Pinnock year to year. His angles were bad. He'd lost the step. Something just happened. You know what I mean? And right now, we got Belton picking the ball off every day, going down the sideline. Holland is literally going to be just got all sorts of ball hawk skills. And Newbin's back. And Newbin could someday be a captain on this team, right? And, so I want to say that I'm most confident in, and because I don't think you fall far off. Belton needs to have a breakout year to get a contract and come back. But I think he can do it because he's you can go 3. If you went 3 safety high with Newbin, Belton, and Holland, you're covering guys. I don't think there's a big issue there, right? So I think I'm going to go with the quarterback group on offense because of the Scatterboo being hurt, and I'm going to go with the safety. I'm going to go with the safety group. And by the way, that's not saying I'm not confident with the linebackers because they are an impressive group.
Yeah,
I probably should preface it with this, Webb. I think the safeties are going to be the most noticeable difference from last year to this year.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. My runner-up was going to be the receiver group.
That group's a little bit. That's
only because group. I think the quarterback play is going to make them better. Neighbors is a standout, so he's
counting the tight ends in the receiver group.
I was not. I was just looking wide receiver, not the tight ends. But I think Neighbors, Wandale, and even the guy who I'm very tough on, I think Slayton, who's looked pretty good in camp.
He has looked pretty good.
That was the other one I was good. But I do, again, the quarterback, I cannot say him. So, yep. Good choices.
Mark says, Mark, hey, no way, nobody's sleeping on Bobby O. He had the herniated disc. He tried to play through it. It's almost impossible to do. So they shut him down. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Listen, I was a big fan of Blake Martinez. I'm a big fan of Bobby O. Like, I love all our linebackers that way. It's a hard position to play if you're wearing the dot on your helmet, which for anybody who doesn't know, the dot on your helmet, a little green dot, means you have the communication device in your helmet. Means that you're the smartest cat in the room. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm all for Bobby O. He's a big fan, and I love that. He's real active on social media. He's out there doing a ton of stuff. So yeah, nobody, at least nobody here at Rush is sleeping on Bobby O.
Yeah.
What else do I have in here? We definitely need to bring up the fact that fantasy football is ready to rock. It should be live tomorrow night. So it's going to go fast, folks. So if you're a fantasy football player or you have a fantasy football player in the family, let them know. If you remember, Sean, what did we give away year 1? You remember?
Monty Toomer signed jersey, was it not?
It was. Monty Toomer signed you. What was the year number 2, Sean?
That was, if I remember correctly, and my memory's not always the greatest, but I think it was Hakeem Nicks.
It was it not? You know what? I think I can give you. I'm going to give you one of these.
Cha-ching.
Yes. So, year 3 of the Rush Ballers League. Okay, we're going to step our game up, so you should too. Okay, this league will have 14 teams in it. It's run by Spartan Mike. I love when people beat Spartan Mike's ass because he's pretty good at this fantasy thing.
Yeah.
So not only will you win an autographed jersey, I've got a couple on the burner right now, that I'm kind of contemplating on which one I'm going with. And then I've got these all-in exclusive posters for the 2011 Super Bowl. They're really cool. Sean, let me ask you this. Would you like to see the poster?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you the poster. I can't show you the jersey, but I can show you the poster.
Show the poster.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Let me see. Do I have a drum roll on here or anything? Let's see what I have here. I have the draft sound.
Can you hear my drum roll over here?
Yes, I can. All right. These are the exclusive all-in posters with Justin Tuck and Tynes, Hakeem Nicks, Eli, Antrell Roll, Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks. And this will also be part of the grand prize.
That's a sick poster.
Yes. And then I will also allow the winner to sit in with us and co-host Rush.
Oh.
Yep. That's what I'm going to do.
I like it.
Yep.
Stepping it up.
I am stepping it up. So the league should be live tomorrow night. I know what you're going to ask me next. How do you register?
There you go. You read my mind. How do you register, Craig?
All right. Thank you for asking, Sean. You're going to go to nygiantsrush.com. That's of course, the website. Lots of good stuff up there. But in the toolbar, it says fantasy football. You click on it, the page will open up. It will have down the bottom a register link. You click the link, you go to the page, you register your team, right? And then it will kick you out. Like when you hit the register button, it kicks you out a link so you can sign up and name your team and do everything you want. But everything flows through the website. So you go to the website, you pay your entry fee, you click the button, it kicks you out a link. The link takes you right to the fantasy page where you set up your team and your team name and so forth.
Sounds easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Always a good time. We're going to step it up a little bit this year because we're getting, more people that want in. So the Ballers League is for ballers. So I hope you guys, will play along. It should be live tomorrow night. I've got them working on it now. Spartan Mike sent me the link today.
Good.
And we'll have some fun with it.
And listen, if you got people that want to join, get them in. Friends of fellow Giants fans, whatever else. Get more people in.
Anybody
recommend, refer a friend, whatever.
100%. Anybody can play. Get in early. Again, it's a highly competitive league. It's gotten much more competitive over.
Yeah, it is.
The last 2 years. But I'm stepping up the prizes. It's going to be an autographed jersey. You got the all-in poster. I'll show it one more time in case anybody wants to get a better look at it.
That is a sweet poster.
All right. So, I look real nice framed up in somebody's man cave. And I don't know what jersey, like I said, I'm going to, I usually stick with like the 90s teams, maybe early 2000s teams, right? But they're usually fun jerseys. They're always signed and they come with the authentic card that proves it's real with the stamped number. So, they're not like I didn't sign it in the basement kind of a thing.
You got the certificate of authentication.
Yes. So, and that's all I've got for tonight. We're a little bit late, so thanks for hanging out with us. We do have some big news coming down the pipe, which we're going to be excited to talk about, right, Sean?
Yes, I'm very excited about it, and I think everybody else will be excited about it too. So
yeah,
we're going to bring the heat.
We've got 2 big announcements that are coming. Not trying to just like tease you and leave you hanging. We're working on deal. We got 2 big announcements, one for Monday and potentially one for Thursday. And they're pretty big. So we're pretty excited about it. And you guys will be the first to know.
Yes.
What else can I tell you? We'll be back next Monday, normal time. We'll we'll see if we can get Chris on here. He's been out for a while. If not, we'll bring in Truth or we'll bring in Spartan. Sean's pretty much here with me every week. And, anything else, hit us up on Twitter and we'll chat with you guys next week. Peace. Joker out.